All right, guys, good morning and welcome back to the channel. Just as you requested, let's go ahead and go through some of the basics of cardiovascular, EKG, so on and so forth, right? Now, as a formal disclaimer, I'm going to say that this is not cardiovascular 101, but rather cardiovascular 0.0001, right? This is the very, very basics of it. And some of the sketches that you may see on your board are not anatomically correct, just to get some of these concepts across in an easy sort of way, right? So let's just begin with the heart. The heart is going to have, first off, 4 chambers, right? But those 4 chambers are going to be one on the top, one on the bottom, and in between them, we're going to have the lungs, right? So this is the atria on the right, the ventricle on the right. Sorry, I wrote it backwards. It's the right atria, right ventricle, left atria, and left ventricle. And in the middle, the lungs. Okay. And why do I draw it like that? Because here's the thing, out of the left heart, arteries will come out, right? And these arteries will have this flow. They will pump blood, or the left heart will pump blood through the arteries out to our body. But once it gets to that tissue in our body, it returns to the heart for further oxygenation, right? This blood that comes out of the left ventricle goes through the artery, it gets to the tissue, and the tissue is going to use that blood, the oxygen, the nutrients it has, and then that blood will return back to the right heart through the venous system, right? And in the venous system, the flow is going to be in this direction, right? Now, when it returns, it's going to come back to the heart, to the right atria. From the right atria, it's going to go down to the right ventricle. And from the right ventricle, it'll get pumped to the lungs. Then you breathe, and that will reoxygenate the blood, right? From the lungs, it's going to come back to the left atria. And from the left atria, down to the to the left ventricle, and out to the system again, and so it begins the cycle again. Okay, so with that being said, first and foremost, if anything here fails to do its job, the structure that's going to suffer is the one prior. For example, and I'm going to do this in green so you can see it, right? If the left heart fails to pump forward, then the blood and the fluids in general, your volume, is going to go backwards into your lung. Therefore, your lung is going to get full of fluids, and you're going to be short of breath, you're going to have mucus production, pulmonary edema, so on and so forth. However, if the one failing is your right heart and it cannot pump forward to the lungs, then that blood, those fluids, that volume will back up into your peripheral system, and then you're going to see edema in the lower extremities, ascites, so on and so forth, right? So with that being said, this is the basics of it, and stay tuned. We're going to do the next video on EKG. I'm sorry, on EKG, yes.